Hello everyone. Welcome back to another cup of reflectivity with Briege. So today I once again drew the letter TAV, which is the 22nd letter in the Hebrew alphabet, which is the last letter, incidentally. And so we've talked about TAV before. So I'm actually excited to go a little deeper into this code. I'm feeling really excited about the energies that are available for us right now with TAV, which also represents the Fool card in the traditional tarot. And so once again, we're wrapping up an old cycle and really stepping into a new beginning here. That's been a theme for us since I started this podcast. So it's amping up. Today I drew from the Numerology deck, a beautiful deck working with the moon energies, and we got the energy is gaining momentum with a waxing moon. Nothing will come of the situation with the void of course moon, and a fiery climax approaches with the full moon in Aries. So let's get into this. As I was sitting with these energies, really the word excitement is probably a pretty good, accurate representation of the energies that I'm feeling with this right now. And the way I'm feeling this is you might be feeling right on the edge of something. And as much as there is an energy of excitement and like you can already feel the new, but it seems to be not quite here yet. It's just out of reach, but it's almost there. You can feel it. So really the Fool card is a perfect representation of what I'm feeling, is that you're right at the edge, poised, ready to take that step. Or are you? Or are you? So that's the energy right now that I am sensing, where you might feel like you're being almost squeezed and wrung out with that energy of being right on the edge of something new. And as you're completing the old and really preparing to let go of everything from your past that is no longer serving you and that has been holding you back from stepping into your new future and your new life adventure. It feels like we're being wrung out so that the last drop of anything old and outdated, it's like that last bit of stagnancy is literally being expressed and just wrung out, so that we can become like a sponge, completely able to now soak in and take in everything new that we're wanting to now step into and embody and create in our lives. So potent, really potent time. And the energy really is gaining momentum. But that can also leave us feeling a little bit frustrated at times. Nervous, anxious. And that's coming back to my question, are you ready to take this next step? That looks like it is taking a step into possibly nothingness, as you're ready to leave the old cliff face behind you and step into a possibly quite unknown new future, like the Fool. So the opportunity here, once again, is to take this inward. And this brings me to the void of course moon, with nothing will come of the situation. The sense I'm feeling here is nothing will come of the situation if we're not ready to fully commit to this new beginning. If we are still letting ourselves be held back by the old paradigms And whether that's your own old stories and beliefs and fears, or whether that is an adherence to the way it always has been done and the way that society dictates it should be done, which, at the core of it is still an old belief and an old fear that we carry. But it's also an invitation. This void of course moon energy is an invitation to take this inward. And if you feel that something's holding you back, and actually this brings me to something that came up in my meditation as I was sitting with these energies. If you are feeling like you're right at the edge, but this momentum to carry you forward is not quite there yet, even though you can almost taste it, you can feel the new energies coming in for you. Is this merely this necessary stage of letting yourself be squeezed completely so that you make sure that you're not taking anything of the old life into your new, or let's say anything that does not serve? Or is it because you feel hung up and stuck? There's a difference here, and it's not always easy to discern. So sit with this. As I said, there's an invitation here to go inward and look, especially if you really feel stuck here. And you're not quite sure what's holding you back. I invite you to look back on your past themes that will be mirrored in this situation right now. So look at what themes are present in your life. This new beginning, this completion, could apply to different areas and sometimes several areas in your life. And that's going to be different for each and every one of us. So what are the themes present in your life right now? For a lot of us, again, that's abundance. And I mentioned in my previous podcast, 22 adds up to a 4. So in this 22 code of TAV, we have inherent the energies of Dalet, which is all about abundance, fertility, or a lack thereof. And it is also a lot about taking that leap of faith and having that deep inner trust, like the Fool does. So we have talked about this before. Now is an invitation to take this even deeper in your contemplation. What are the themes? Most likely it has something to do with abundance on all levels, whether that's financial or in love or your creativity, whatever it is that you're facing right now. Look back on your life and identify all the times that this theme has been playing out in your life. That probably won't be difficult. It's probably going to be quite obvious. And then look at how much you have grown through those challenges in your past. How much you have progressed to even get you to this point where you are right now. This is important, to really embrace yourself and give yourself credit. Really give yourself credit and a big hug of gratitude for all the challenges that you have already come through, all the ways in which you have already grown and expanded and become a new version of self. So bring this old version of you into this meditation, into this energy with love and gratitude. It's a part of you. It's not about negating your past. It's about not letting it hold you back, not letting it trip you up. So sit with that. What insights are coming up about everything you've gone through in the past, all the ways in which you have grown, and where do you still feel you're working your way through some of the challenges? Where do you get hung up? Is it fear of how you might be judged externally? Or is it a fear of lack? Or a worry that you're not good enough? Whatever it is, really sit with that, because this is the invitation now. If it feels like something that's holding you back, it's only coming to the surface now so that you can heal it. I think we've talked before about the cyclical nature and the spiral aspect of our growth. As much as it often feels as though we're just coming back to the same old, and repeating old patterns and habits and situations, it typically is not. It's typically a spiraling. If we are putting the work in, let's put it that way. If we're putting the work in, and we're really taking our insights and experiences into up-leveling, very often we still get put back into similar situations, but they are at a different level now. It's a different layer that we're now addressing. So don't be concerned if this is where you find yourself right now, just at the precipice of a new life, a new version of you, a new inner and outer beginning. This feels potent in the sense that it literally is a new beginning in our lives, our outer lives. But of course, it has to begin with our inner perception of ourselves. Talking about the multidimensional aspects to TAV, which again we've talked about in the previous podcast. This is what I am sensing. I am getting this vision of peeling a fruit. Let's say it's an orange. That's a beautiful example, where you're peeling the skin of this orange, and inside you will find all those different pieces, all these different aspects that make up this orange. And that's what we're doing right now. We're peeling the outer layers so that we can really get to the core and access all those multidimensional aspects and layers of consciousness within ourselves. And this is what is happening now if we are taking this opportunity and this chance to go within, to really release, squeeze out the last drops of the old self, so that we can become the sponge ready to soak up and fill completely with the new. And this is like a rebirthing process. 22 is the last letter in the Hebrew alphabet, Tav. And as such, it truly contains everything that we have learned in all the previous codes and letters. All of it. That does not fall away. We get to keep everything that we earned, every little growth aspect. All the strengths and gifts that we have earned, those we get to keep. What we let go of is the fear, the worries, the anxieties, and all the old beliefs and stories that do not reflect our highest alignment with our highest path and potential. There's such an element of potentiality here. Literally, when you do step off the cliff, which means there's no trodden path ahead of you, you will get to forge a brand new path that is uniquely yours. And that can be scary, of course, or exciting, depending on how you look at it, and both at the same time. Nothing wrong with that. But if you feel that this fear and anxiety is holding you back from stepping forward, then there's something to look at here. I'm looking here at the fiery climax approaches with the full moon in Aries. That can be a very impatient energy. So pay attention to that too. When you feel so tense inside, like all this tension, there's all this unknown energy, but all this excitement too about the new that you're already feeling coming in is building up in you and tends to want to just spill over prematurely. And you want to take action not from a place of inner guidance and knowingness, but from a place of impatience and perhaps even nervous energy, nervous fear that you're missing an opportunity. But if the energy hasn't fully ripened within you yet, then stepping forward now won't help. It really won't help. You'll just have to backtrack again later. Or just won't come up, won't really lead to anything. Like the void of course moon reminds us, nothing will come of the situation. But again, I don't feel this as a negative energy. It's just a reminder. How committed are you? Because we will need to make use of these energies. It won't happen on its own. We need to take initiative when the time is right and when this guidance, this inner guidance, leads us outwards naturally. You will feel the difference. So how committed are you? That's been a question that's been coming up. And can you be committed to your inner state of being first and foremost? Again, TAV helps us to bring scattered energies back into alignment. And so again, this is an opportunity to look at all the ways in which your energies might be scattered, whether that's energy you are leaking into your fears, insecurities, worries, and concerns, or into the beliefs of how things should be, how you might be judged by yourself, perhaps even, or others. Or that could also be, those things, those external things that we do need to take care of. Life is life. We will have to take care of things that we may not really want to spend time with. And that too can take a lot of our energy and dissipate our focus on what we want to call in now, what we want to focus in on. So just be aware of that. And make time in your day when you consciously pull your energy back in from wherever your focus, your energy has been dissipating into. Just call them back in and feel them realigning in your core, in your center, and realigning you with your highest path and potential. And do this maybe several times a day if you feel really scattered and really overwhelmed, perhaps. So again, to recap, the invitation at this time is to reflect on your past themes and growth. What have you learned? How have you learned? Can you see the bigger picture of why certain things have been playing out the way they have been in your life? Is that something that's now becoming more and more apparent, like a big puzzle that's really falling into place, and you finally gain a larger understanding of your life path and journey so far, and how it's been preparing you for this very next step that you're now ready to step into, or perhaps even leap into full-heartedly. Because again, this feels big. This feels big. This is not just a little step along the way. This feels like a complete and utter up-leveling and stepping into your highest version of self. And of course, that's not an end goal. That keeps evolving and growing and expanding. But this is literally a time now where we can up-level in a sense of creating a true rebirth, or changing timelines, if you want to put it that way. You know? Really running with a higher vision. So reflecting back, seeing the bigger picture, there's a very positive influence right now that will help us do that. Calling back our energies from wherever they have leaked into. Reflecting on what might still be holding us back, and how can we untangle ourselves from that energy. And how committed are we? And how can we bring more commitment into this path, into this vision? These are the energies that I am inviting you to reflect on and to run with. Again, the energy is so potent. It's so exciting to me to just sit in this energy. Really, really positive. It's literally like, with that Fool energy, TAV brings this innocence, this hopefulness for the future. And because we have let go of our old filters and our old assumptions and expectations and experiences that have formed certain attitudes, we can now view the world as something completely fresh and newborn, like literally a new slate that has that inherent innocence, hopefulness, sense of adventure and curiosity. Because if we don't bring our old stories and our old beliefs, there's so much more room for open-mindedness and exploration, and really sensing each moment as an opportunity to expand our minds, to learn something new. When we're that open vessel, instead of this mind that is already cluttered with old assumptions. And we think we know it all. Well, we don't. That's just the truth. We don't know it all. We can never know it all. There's always more to explore. And the more we're willing to let go of our old constructs, structures, beliefs, and fears, the more open we are to take in the new and to learn something that maybe has never occurred to us before. And again, to see the world with fresh new eyes. That's a gift. That's a true gift. That's when life gets exciting again. Instead of wearisome, worrisome. So that's the invitation. Find your excitement, but don't let that excitement run away with you to the point where you get anxious and tense and frustrated with the energy, because it's not quite here yet. That's the feeling that I'm getting. It's not quite here yet, but it almost is. And if you can tune in and tap into that energy of what almost is, like a taproot, sending a taproot out into the future energies that you're sensing, that potentiality, and feed your current energy, your current presence with that energy of your future potential, then that can nourish you and lead you out into the next step and bring those opportunities to you that are now ready to fill your life, to guide your life. So there you are. I think that's enough. Again, the themes here have been repeating themselves, but we're just going deeper and deeper. And of course, this is not something that we will master and leave behind in, one overnight step. It is an energy that will carry us for a while, and that we will most likely keep coming back to as we are approaching the next leap, the next step, the next up-leveling. So I hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you next week for the next podcast. Take care, everyone. Much love. Bye.